enthusiasm. I do a lot of dumb shit regularly. Hello, sir. Yes, I know. That's sweet. We know. You kicked him in the head 3 times. There's not going to be. You're not going to get a Congressional Medal of Honor. It's not going to. No one's going to do anything. All right. I hope you take offense to that. Thank you. I will probably offend everybody at some point. Want to take a minute to thank EDO. Want to thank contingents who put up with us for 2 nights in a row. Last night we had the Rectors with us. They were amazing. And also last night, Corrine, which is an amazing band they played across town. This is because Philadelphia is filled with amazing bands because Philadelphia is the greatest city on the planet. And the greatest section of Philadelphia is South Philadelphia. I live in South Philadelphia. Does anybody else in the audience live in South Philadelphia? Okay, I need you to back me up on this because some people are not going to believe me. In South Philadelphia, there are small children who know all the dialogue from Goodfellas. Am I right? A couple years ago, I was at the fair, goes up and down past Yonk Avenue, Flavors of the Avenue, and some woman was excited because they had a clown there. And she said, sees her son, she goes, look, they have a clown. And he goes, am I your fucking clown? Do I abuse you? Like a 4-year-old child. I am not lying to you. So I thought, well, I've seen it all. Again, not making this up, I was at a street fair, I think less than a year later. And one little kid, like a 4-year-old kid, runs up like a 6-year-old kid, and the 4-year-old kid surprised, I know my ABCs, and the 6-year-old kid went, good for you, now go home and get your fucking shot box. I wish I was making that up. I wish the shit. I didn't go to sleep every night knowing that these families live all around me. And yet, I'm rather pleased that they do. Think about it. How many children you know that can memorize dialogue from movies? So I'm going to tell you a story that took place within 100 yards of where both those stories took place. But I'm going to have to bring you down first. So I hope you enjoyed laughing that part. You're going to get really depressed right now. We're going to talk for a minute about my late father. This Monday is the 2nd anniversary of his death. He's the guy who was on the cover of Beelzebub. You might know I look a lot like him. Probably the greatest man I ever knew, and I try to be like him every day. Now, my father had done a solid for NASA. He didn't work for NASA. He just was always interested in science and stuff. He was a steel worker. And NASA had misplaced some stuff, and my dad knew where it was. And NASA was fucking impressed with my dad. Like, I was proud of my dad to begin with. I'm so proud now. They were like, you have your shit together, sir. They gave him a hat, they gave him NASA stuff, and they gave him a lifetime pass to all NASA facilities. And unfortunately, it doesn't pass from father to son. But no, for real, this is my hat. And we kept it next to my father's ashes for years, for the last 2 years. And some bands would be selling you bits of my father's ashes on this, and they would be selling it in the back. Available in the back merch. We're not going to sell you bits of my father. So, last year on the 1st anniversary of my father's passing, I put on his hat, and I left the house. I was hoping I would run into somebody who knew him because I look a lot like him. I think they'd go, Goose! But no. I started walking up past Yonk Avenue, and I got maybe 500 feet up the avenue. Somebody saw me, and they went, the moon landing was fake! And I had an epiphany. And this is what that epiphany was. How does Neil deGrasse Tyson make it through the day without knocking motherfuckers out? Neil deGrasse Tyson should have more knockouts than Mike Tyson. Think of being Neil deGrasse Tyson and the shit you gotta hear during the course of the day. But old Neil, he handles it well. Old Neil does a thing where he explains. So he would say, well, do you mean all the moon landings? And the person usually goes, wait, there are more than one? And it's like, yeah, we had 6 and one that was aborted. That's the one that almost left Tom Hanks up in space. There's no, am I your fun? That movie would be better with dialogue than Goodfellas. We're stranded in space. Am I your fucking clown? Do I abuse you? Johnny 2 times. Go and get the papers. But no, he says, like, he'll say to him, you know, it would have been more expensive to fake the moon landing. So first he explains there were several moon landings. It would be more expensive to fake them. And he just does a really good job of talking to people. And he does explain and debunk. I have another thing I added to it. And I named it after the band that was just one called EDO. It's explain, debunk, and obliterate. So if I'm nice to you, and I explain it to you, and I debunk it, but you're still a bit of an ass. If you go, oh no, the moon landing was fake, I will say no, the moon landing was real. What's fake were your mother's orgasms with everybody but me. It doesn't always help. Right, I get angry. Like imagine Neil deGrasse Tyson with people telling you aliens built the pyramid. And old Neil, he'll say, no, look, here's how inclines planes work. We have graffiti from the people that built them. The Happy Gang, Bruce Boys. And sometimes it sinks in. And then I will meet these people, and what hasn't sank in, they'll go, you know, our ancestors could not have built the pyramids. And I will say, no, your ancestors couldn't have. You, sir, are a fucking imbecile, and you obviously come from along. So I have a short fuse on that. I'm like Neil. Neil does a good job. A lot of people ask me why all this makes me angry, why I care. You know why? All right, well, you won't be surprised. It makes me angry because it's a short step from convincing people that the moon landing was fake and that aliens built the pyramid to convincing them that Haitians are eating their pets. It is a short step from convincing people of some bullshit like that to convincing them that slavery wasn't so bad. Those people were obviously bent over that field because it was like a Pilates class. No. It's a very, very short step to convincing people that the Holocaust didn't happen. And there are whole podcasts now with people who would, and I will bump into 20-year-olds and I'll mention Doc Al. There are 20-year-olds who have no idea what Doc Al is. That shouldn't be happening. So, if you believe the moon landing is fake, you're probably a nice person. But you have a little bit of wrong information. If you believe that the Holocaust was fake, you're a fucking asshole. And it is time for you to go home and get your fucking shine box. And now I'm going to awkwardly segue into an 80s novelty song. If I want to go home, I just get on the Broad Street line, I get off at the Snyder stop. I don't know why I do that, because I have a car.
You got a car?
Yes, I do.
What kind of car do you got?
I have a Bitchin Camaro.